Hey Posh Hearts, I am jumping on really quick for a quick tip and trick for you guys. So this is something that does get asked often. And I have done different trainings on this, but this one's going to be specific on shipping and how I prep my packages to ship. So if you guys are sending out samples, if you're sending out recruiting packets, opportunity or the pink packets, opportunity packets, info on what Posh is, samples of any kind, product, etc. This is going to be for you. So, um, luckily with Posh, we really don't need to ship out a ton. It's really up to you how you want to decide to ship product or how much you want to spend on shipping in general. And then with what you ship out, it's really up to you. Now, it's up to you if you decide you want to include a full catalog with your samples, if you want to include just a little, pamphlet or flyer, a thank you card, anything like that. When you guys are shipping things out, you can always put them in poly mailers. So these ones are there's no bubble wrap on this, right? Or there's the bubble wrap poly mailers, and I do have a smaller size of this one as well, which is about like half the size. Or there's like the clear cello bags, there's regular envelopes, there's a lot of different options for you. Now, the thing to know about shipping is that if you're shipping from home and like prepping packages before you go to the post office, that's going to be the most cost savings that you're going to see. With PayPal shipping, that is what I used for a majority of my shipping, and I actually still prefer PayPal shipping. So if you guys don't yet, you need to have a PayPal account in order to do that. But PayPal shipping really is the way to go, especially when you're starting off, because as long as you have a printer at home, you're able to print off postage. You're going to save on postage rather than going to the post office, and it's super easy because it's all prepaid and it's ready to go. So all you have to do is drop it off at the post office or have your the postal service come and pick up your packages. So it's a it's a very great option. And the thing that I like despise, I guess, the most about shipping things is prepping. And so if I can prep things faster and if I can do it in more of like a assembly line thing, then I find that a lot easier. So with PayPal shipping especially, I get all my packages ready. I weigh them at home. I use my digital kitchen scale. This has been with me for many, 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 many years. I think more than 5 years. And this is something that I absolutely love. You just need a digital kitchen scale. It doesn't have to be a specific mailing scale. I think you can get these for as cheap as $20 I think is what I paid for that one, and that's like a good, nice one. But you weigh your packages. So this is what I do. So I get all my packages ready. Pretend this is a package. As I'm getting them ready and I've put all my stuff in it, then I weigh them. I write down quick jot of who it's for, so name and how much it weighs. So how many ounces it weighs, and then when I am ready to ship out my packages, I go into my PayPal account and I click multi-order shipping. Multi-order shipping will open up, and you have the option to I believe you have the option to import your like a CSV file, an Excel spreadsheet into your PayPal shipping order, or you can manually input it. And then you can put down how many ounces each of the packages weigh, and then you can group, like bulk print all of those out. So PayPal's default is to print on half of a page. Usually it will have like a receipt, but if you go into the settings, you can always uncheck that box and it won't print out the receipt, so you don't have to worry about going through as many pieces of paper. But like, one of the things that you can do, so for a very, very long time, I just cut those pages in half, taped them onto my package, and then I did that. Alternatively, you can change your settings in your PayPal printing section or the multi-order section to a label, the Dymo printer, like the 5.5. I have to look at the exact settings, but you can do that, and that prints out the package or the labels to be this much of the page. So it's a long label rather than half of a sheet. So that's another option too. When you do that, you have to cut it up. You still have to tape it, but that's one way you can do it. However, one of the hacks I guess you can use is by using adhesive paper. So this, if you can see, this is two colors. This is a half-page adhesive paper. So if you are printing and you're printing on half of a page, then you don't have to tape it. You can very easily pull this off. It adheres to your package very nicely, and that saves you a little extra time as well. I mean, you could totally buy full page adhesive paper if you want to, and then or half sheet. I'm not sure which one's the most cost effective, and then print and then get them printed on. So I have been doing it with the half page, although I do like the look of the long labels just because it doesn't take up as much of the package. So I actually think I'm gonna move my settings back to the longer labels, sorry, and then cut just a tiny bit, cut it, and then try that. I'm gonna try that. We'll see how that works. But that's a very easy way to do it. So PayPal shipping is going to be probably the most cost effective for just about everybody. Shipping can be pricey. So if you are shipping stuff out, then I want to encourage you guys to limit how much you ship. Make sure that you guys are budgeting so that you are not over shipping. So if you are offering samples, maybe offer them in groups. You know, today I have 10 samples to send out. Who wants these? 10. Or you can take a list and be like, hey, I'll add you to my list and I will send out samples to you with my next run of samples, you know? So you don't necessarily have to send out like 30 all at once. You can spread it out. So you have 5 every week for the next 6 weeks or etc., right? So make sure that it's within your budget. But if you are sending out samples or anything that you're mailing out, please do not forget to follow up, because it's completely pointless and kind of a waste of money and time if you guys send this stuff out and you never follow up. You want to make sure that you're reaching out to these people, you know, hey, did you guys get that package? What did you think? You know? Yeah, so Lisa Renee says the first 5 people. Charlie says have locals meet to pick up. Yes. If you have locals in the area, you can always meet up, you can drop them off, etc. It makes it a lot easier. You can always, you know, put more things in it even if you wanted to, because you don't have to worry about how much it weighs. Thing to note is that if you are sending stuff out, and you have to look at, or you should, I think, look at the postage rate chart so that you can see where the price increases are. So if you are within a pricing block, then why not put a few more things in it, you know, so you maximize that shipping. But if you are at the very, like, does that make sense? So that you're maximizing how much you put into it. You don't want to pay, if you're paying the same amount to send out one sample, why not send out 2 samples for the same cost, right? So that's just something that I want you guys to be aware of, that the brackets are bigger than you might think. And you guys just have to look that up because it changes every so often. But yeah, so when you're shipping stuff out, some other quick tips and tricks is that if you guys you don't need to send catalogs with every single order. That is something, catalogs not only are pricier than other options, they also are pretty heavy. So that's going to add to your shipping cost. I mean, as much as I love the catalog and sending it out, if you're sending out a ton of samples, maybe it's not the most cost-effective way for you, and that's something that you guys need to decide. But other options of things that you can send out, or you can send out the pricing at a glance sheet. This is something that you can find in the portal. We do have it in the files in our team page section as well. You can always print that off, send that off with them. You can get the little mini flyers, which I have somewhere. There's little mini flyers and brochures in the Posh portal that you can always use, and you can send those out. Those don't weigh very much. And so yeah, don't forget to do that. Don't forget to include a business card, a handwritten note. If you are in, you should also, I recommend, include something with your why Posh and something to show them the value of our starter kits, because whatever you mail out, you never know. You could also turn that part of it into a recruiting packet. Um, yes. Okay, Lisa Renee only sends a catalog if they ask, otherwise you tell them the website. Yeah. And as much as I would love to everyone to have a catalog, catalogs are not, they aren't very cheap for me to send out to a ton of people, and they also can be a little bit overwhelming. So you don't necessarily have to have a catalog to send out to people. Um, and it really, I mean, I actually don't, I don't think you need to send out a catalog with everything unless they specifically ask. And then also, this is another thing to keep in mind when you are doing like thank you cards. Thank you cards are super great way to show customer service and to show your appreciation for orders. Um, your thank you cards could be as little as a postcard with a quick thank you note on it. Postcard stamps are cheaper than a regular stamp, so that's one way of doing it and showing your appreciation. If you include a sample, the problem with including there's a whole lot of tips and tricks on stuff, but if it's something that's hard in there, like a Laycon, then it's not going to be it's going to be classified as a parcel, so it's gonna cost a few dollars. But if the portal samples are hit or miss in a envelope with a stamp, so that's something you got to be careful of. If it is um, I don't know what it's called, I don't even remember what it's called. When it doesn't have to go through the machine, then there's a possibility that you can have that work, but it's just something that you need to be very careful of. Hand stamped. Is that right? Yeah, hand stamped. So that's just something you have to be careful of. But if you're sending stuff out, why not send out just a few more things to show your appreciation if you can afford it? If you can't, that's okay. You can always send them a postcard or an email of some kind. I do both. I think it's really nice to thank somebody immediately afterward and then send out a thank you a couple weeks later. So those are some things, some quick tips and tricks. If you guys have any questions, um, let me know. But for the most part, the two things that I recommend to everybody is getting a digital kitchen scale and using and printing your postage at home. Like I said, PayPal postage is probably the most economical for everybody because it doesn't cost any to get that discount, except for your printing at home. If you print a lot, then it might be worth it to look at other options. But I haven't gotten to that point yet. I have been trying out GoShippo.com, and GoShippo charges a 5-cent fee for each postage, each label printed. But one difference they have between PayPal or with PayPal is that they actually remember the contacts. So if that's important to you and it's worth it, then that's an option as well. Um, PayPal Me, like Sasha. So PayPal Me, that's something that is that is not that is on I'm sorry, that's directly related to taking payments for people with orders. So I currently do invoices because I like to be able to write out what somebody ordered so that I know exactly what's on there. But I do know a lot of premiers that use a PayPal Me. I just haven't gotten around to figuring it out yet. It just hasn't been very high on my priority list, although I do know a lot of people who really like it. So once I kind of get that figured out, I will talk to you guys about it and to let you guys know what I think about it. But currently I just do invoices. Are all the contacts you have on Excel for all the addresses? So that's how I keep track of my contacts and my like customer tracker and stuff. I have it all in an Excel spreadsheet. So I have like their name, their home address, their city, their state, their zip code, and then I'll have like this is their order, this is their any notes that I have, how did I meet them, when did I send out their thank you, etc. I mean, I'm pretty sure I uploaded what I use on our team page. It's very, very, very bare bones. And just kind of what I've been using. Not necessarily my favorite thing, but it has been working in terms of keeping track of what I have done and what I haven't done. So that's what I've done. And usually if I am doing a bulk shipping, then I will take all the addresses that I need, put it into a separate Excel, turn it into a CSV file, because that's the comma file, that will then load into PayPal or GoShippo or whatever that you're using. Does that help? Um, yeah, I mean, you don't, I actually use Google Drive more than I do like specific Excel, just because Google Drive is something I can access from wherever I'm at. Um, So I will copy over what I have from like the Posh website or through Messenger. So however I am collecting addresses, then I will move it over to my Google Drive sheets, so that I have all that information there. Because I'm somebody that needs to look at it, and be like, okay, well, I haven't checked this person off yet. I have not sent this person's thank you yet. I haven't, followed up with this person yet. So that's how I do it. Um, you don't necessarily, yeah, you don't need, like, Excel is very powerful, but it doesn't have to be as scary as you might think. It's just a spreadsheet. Google Drive Sheets is the same thing, or I mean, similar. It's not as powerful, but for the most part, you don't need to have all that extra power, um, especially if you're not familiar with Excel. So I would check out Google Drive, the Google Sheets. Like I said, that's how I use it. If you are using Google Forms to collect information, then that's another great way of doing it as well. I've been trying to be more proactive and directing people who want samples, or a catalog, to fill out that form so that I have all of their information in there, and then I'm able to go back into it and add a note saying, yes, I sent this out, check. And then I'll do that with all the new people so that I don't, so it takes a little bit of pressure off of me to have to transfer their information over to Messenger. If they can fill that out, then it's all there for me. Google automatically deposits that into a spreadsheet for me. So that's why I enjoy using the Google Drive stuff, is because of the fact that it's all there. And I like using the forms. I like that it comes into a sheet, all that fun stuff. Does that help? Do you guys have any other questions? Okay, perfect. If you guys have anything else that you guys have any questions on, I'm hoping to do some more quick tips and tricks kind of things, every so often. So you guys are always welcome to, just let me know what you guys want to know about. I do have a lot of trainings on this as well, so be sure to check out my YouTube channel for previous trainings. But if you guys have specifics, or if you guys want me to update anything, or if you guys want to do a live so that you guys can ask questions so I know where to take with this, let me know. The YouTube training is on my YouTube channel, so youtube.com/Simone Posh. There is a playlist in there that's the Posh Hearts team trainings. There's also a playlist in there for Posh business tips and tricks. So there's one that's specific for our team's trainings, and then there's one that's just tips and tricks like this. And then I mean, yeah. And I do you mean, do you want a training on blog, or do we have a blog? Is that what you're asking? I mean, do you want a training on blogging, or is that, because if you guys, I mean, I do have a blog, a Posh blog that I do use, but I don't, it's more like customer facing, not necessarily a team thing. But if you guys want to learn more about blogging, I'm happy to go over blogging as well. Yeah. So let me know. Oh, want it for a customer. I'm a big fan of Blogger. I can go over that with you if you want. Blogger is just very, very user friendly. A lot of people like WordPress. WordPress, however, is going to be a little bit more technical. It's definitely a bit more powerful. It's more customizable. However, I don't know if you necessarily need those options. So that's kind of my thing with blogging. I've been blogging for longer than before I knew it was called blogging. So I have tried out a bunch of different things, but my favorite one is Blogger just because it's so user friendly and it does everything you need it to do. WordPress is great if you want to make it a little bit more pretty, I guess. So for the most part, you don't necessarily need WordPress. Blogger will do everything you need it to do. But yeah, we can go over blogging in another thing if you guys want. Any other questions before I jump off? Okay, I'm gonna get off. If you guys have any questions afterward, let me know. If you guys want to see trainings on anything, let me know. Again, this is just very, very simple mailing, shipping kind of stuff. If you guys have questions on this, let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day.